Hi, it's Miss Pritzel, and I suppose this is my nonfiction book talk for the week, even though technically it's a book of poems, but that is nonfiction. So it's in our 800s. So the author is Amanda Gorman, and some of you know the name automatically. If you don't, she is the National Youth Poet Laureate, and she did the inauguration poem a year ago in January. So this is, I've been waiting for her. They did a little book of her inaugural poem, and this is her full book that everybody's been waiting for, and it got delayed, and I don't know if it was because of COVID or what, but it was supposed to come out in fall, and it didn't come out till December. So it's called Call Us What We Carry, and I think that comes up in one of the poems. You know, it's what we carry around with us, not literally, but inside of us. So it's a really good book. I can't do it justice reading it out loud. I just want to show you. It's done in sections, and she's got different types of poems. So you may talk about different types of poems. It does include we talk about poems. So there are a lot of poems about COVID and things like that. But there's a lot of interesting poetic styles in this book. More shaped poems. There's a lot of history in this book too, and some of it I knew, like the tale of the whale ship Essex, which was sunk by a whale, one of the only ones in history. There's these other historical documents that she took, and it's interesting how she turned them into poems, and it has to do with using certain words that are in them. So it was just a very interesting book into how she did it. We do also have the audio book on Sora, because I'm going to be honest, I listened to the book. So basically she was reading the book to me, because I personally bought the book and I bought the audio book, and I wanted to make sure we had the audio book and the actual book, so you can do that. I will say one thing, because the inaugural poem is in here. I feel like the actual delivery at the inaugural address was just, there was a different kind of energy to it. But it was a really very, very, very interesting poem, because, of course, there's COVID, there's issues of racial justice, but there's a lot of history and stuff in this too. I mean, it just was fascinating, the wide variety of topics she covered throughout this entire book, and also how she tied a lot of them together. So, like I said, poetry is not something I normally sit down and read. It's not that I don't enjoy poetry. I tend to read it more like novels that are written in poetry format. Those I'm totally fine with. So this one, it's been a long time since I sat down and read or listened to a book of poems, and this was well worth it. I sat down with the book and the audiobook one time, but I actually listened to the audiobook 2 more times too. So it was really good, and having her as the narrator of the audiobook also gives it a lot more oomph, I think. So just a wonderful wordsmith, and I'd have to say that the way she uses language is absolutely incredible to get her message across. So I hope you will come check this one out. We have 2 copies of it. We also have several copies of her smaller, just her inaugural poem. And like I said, you can also get this book on audiobook through Sora. So have a fantastic day, and I've got some other poetry books that I think you will enjoy if our copy would happen to be checked out, or you want something a little bit different. So come in and see me, because once again, my job is to keep everybody reading. Have a fantastic day. Bye.